Happy 2023. I want to tell you about the projects I've been working on and that I will continue to be working on through this next year with two goals. The first goal is for those of you who are merely curious and follow along and enjoying the content, hopefully just to scratch that itch and give you something to look forward to in terms of what the productive output will be. The second goal is to invite any of you who are sitting with a lot of energy in your soul and in your lives that you would like to direct somewhere, potentially as an invitation for us to have a conversation to maybe collaborate and build something awesome. And on that note, I want to say that with each of these projects that I'm about to describe, I work with a great group of people. So they overlap over the different projects, but each one of these, none of these alone is me by myself. There is a lot of brilliant, competent, diligent work that is being done behind the scenes. These are all team efforts. So thank you to all of them. And with that, let's dive into these projects. The first of these projects is this, Rocket in Vermont. At its core, what this is a narrative project. We are trying to tell stories that bring people together. I feel like in a world that is increasingly divided and partisan and political and annoying, I am trying to find ways to show people that this Venn diagram has a lot of overlap. The goal with these videos is to give people something positive to celebrate and to be proud of. I'm also hoping that the series becomes an archive of an honest, authentic look into what it feels like to live in Vermont in the 2020s. And finally, I'm hoping that these videos serve to inspire people who watch and say, you know, if this person can start that business or do this thing in their community, then maybe I can do something similar in my own. We do have a need in this project, primarily on the funding and production side. So that is both finding partnerships and navigating those partnerships and deals, as well as shepherding projects end to end from an administrative production standpoint. There might be room for people in post, that's the editing side, but reach out and we can talk. Project number 2, Eat Vermont. If you follow me online, you've probably seen Eat Vermont. We have the largest food-focused Instagram brand in the state of Vermont with just over 19,000 followers. The goal is to build a business that utilizes modern technology to reduce the friction in the system. Basically, between the farm to your plate, there are a number of points where there's just a huge amount of friction. So that friction could be in transaction costs or it could be in information flow. All those things, those friction points, they add cost to the system. It makes it difficult for small businesses to survive, and it makes it more expensive for the end user, the consumer, us. In my mind, the way to revolutionize local food in Vermont is to find ways to reduce those barriers so that businesses can succeed and consumers can eat, and it's a net win for the whole system. So what we're trying to do is build a tech platform. I'm working with a couple software devs there. If that's something that is of interest to you, not only are we going to need support on the dev side, but also on potentially the VC funding side. So if that's of interest to you, reach out and we can talk. Project number 3. Project number 3, GoVT. This is shorthand for Go Vermont. What this is a nonprofit. We have received 501c3 nonprofit status, so that means we're a formally recognized tax-exempt organization. And the mission of this nonprofit is to stimulate nonpartisan civic engagement across Vermont. I'll say it faster. Stimulate nonpartisan civic engagement across Vermont. So what does that mean? To me, civic engagement is everything that you would want to do outside of your own private life. That could be starting a business. It could be volunteering with a nonprofit. It could be donating money to a nonprofit. Or it could be even as simple as showing up to things that are organized in your community, like the downtown parade. All of these ways, to me, I think are opportunities for us to be greater connected, which I think is one of the primary goals of the human soul, is it not? On this note, I want to say there is an irony about technology, which is that it has such a power to connect us, just like you watching this video. But it also has done this fabulous, horrific job of dividing us and fracturing us. So my vision for GoVT is actually in some ways very similar to my vision for Eat Vermont. And that is to create a hub of useful information so that everyday people can come and find ways to be more involved and be more connected. Do you see a common theme emerging here in my work? I just want people to be more connected. Okay, so those are the 3 major projects that I'll be working on this year outside of law school and being on the select board in Hartford. However, there are 2 pipe dream projects that I would like to develop if I can find the wherewithal. And I'm going to tell you about those because I'm going to manifest it, baby. Ooh! The first project is podcast. I started this last year. It's called For the Love of Vermont. We filmed a trial episode with Governor Jim Douglas. The idea is to have conversations with leaders around Vermont of all walks of life and all stripes, and really for this conversation series to be not political, but human. What I want to do is explore what it is about Vermont that really strikes people in the heart, what it is that drove them to take up more of an effort to serve our community and to lead other people, and to also sort of dive into what their vision is for what they think Vermont can be in the future. The goal for that would be to have it both audio and video, and to have it distributed across platforms, and also ideally syndicated on a network like Vermont Public. So that would be quite cool. If you have any experience in that or any interest in that, let me know. Again, it's sort of a pipe dream. Pipe dream number 2, or far reach, I should say far reach or moonshot, baby. Whatever it is, the second project that I really would like to take on, that I don't know if I'll have the time to take on, is writing a book. And the book I'd like to write, well, I have a placeholder title, which is not a good, it's F*** Your America, Make Love to Mine. That won't be the actual title, but really what I want to do is write a book about why I love America and why I am optimistic about what America can be. Something you may not know about me is that through my 20s, I traveled a lot around the country. I've been to all 50 states multiple times. And so when I say that I love this country, it's because I also feel like I know this country in ways that many people don't. I know that life has been tough these last few years for everyone. For myself personally, last year was the toughest year of my life. I don't think I show that much, but I don't see the benefit of showing that much publicly, but it was brutal. And I know that I'm not the only person that's been having a tough time. With that said, what are we supposed to do? You know, I think the only way forward is to be optimistic and to be resilient and to say tomorrow can be better, and whatever I can do to make tomorrow better, God, I will try. I want to be someone that doesn't run away from challenges, but rather faces them with a determination to do all that I can to make it control my destiny, I guess. So just to say 5 or 10 years from now, I'll look back and say, I took all that grief that was sitting in my idle hands and I put it to use and I grew a garden. That's kind of what I'm hoping for myself, and where I think you might see some of this fire that I put into my projects. Now I'm feeling all somber. Listen, we're such a small community. It doesn't make sense for us to not collaborate. I think there is so much opportunity for us in building bridges and finding synergies and focusing. So if this is something that you feel passionate about, please reach out. I am going to add the caveat that I am immensely busy, so I sometimes can delay getting back to people, but also that frankly, I want to work with people that are truly determined to put in the time and put in the sweat and put in the hours. So if it's just kind of like a fun thing, it's going to get deranked a little bit. And it's not personal. It's just more of the degree of focus that I have, and also the amount of respect that I have for my team, so that I need to make sure that I honor the efforts that they're putting in by also putting in the same amount of effort on my end. With all that said, I wish you a beautiful new year. The past is the past, and the present won't last. So give that future gas. No, I'm just saying, Happy New Year to you. Thank you all for being part of this journey, and I will see you both in life and on the interwebs.